and welcome to Monday's lesson and the first lesson back after half term. So the first thing I'd just like you to do is have a look at the screen. There are three different things on the screen, and what I would like you to do is think back to last half term. Can you remember what these three things represent? Pause the video here and have a go. So you should have paused the video, and I'm going to reveal what these three things mean, okay? So they all are abbreviations, which means a short version, but they all have long names, okay? So let's start with this one. So this is our just an M on its own, okay? So this is sometimes written after a number to show how many meters. So it's a length, okay? So if we saw something was 3 meters long, then that's the length of it, okay? That's how long it will be. That gives you a clue to the other two answers. They're both lengths. This one is centimeters, and this one is millimeters. Can you remember which was the longest amount and which was the shortest amount? So today is the 22nd of February 2021, and our LI today is to recognise equivalent lengths in metres and in centimetres. So remember those two little symbols, metres and centimetres. The other thing that we might trip up on is the word equivalent. So the word equivalent means equal. So it means they're the same. Our first step is to know that if you're talking about 1 metre, if you think about a metre stick at school, that equals 100 centimetres. If you have a ruler with you, sometimes a ruler is about 30 centimetres or about 15 centimetres, okay? Usually they're those two lengths. But a metre stick is 100 centimetres long, okay? Step 2, I can measure using metres and centimetres. And step 3 is to answer problem-solving questions. A lot of the questions today are problem-solving, and we're recognising equivalent length, so equal. So, the first thing is going to be my turn. So I'm going to read the question on the board. I'm going to have a go answering it. You can also have a go answering it with me, and then we're going to have a go with you having a go and then me showing you afterwards. So the question says, if A equals 10 centimetres, here is A with an arrow, so that's A. Calculate the missing measurements. So you've got to work out what B is, how many centimetres, what C is, how many centimetres, and then how many centimetres in 1 metre. So A is 10 centimetres, so that little bar is equal to 10 centimetres. We know that, don't we? So how are we going to work out what B is? So we've got to here, and we've worked out that that is 10 centimetres. Now, this little blue bar here is equal to this little white bar. They're all equal amounts. This long stick has been split up into equal amounts. So if this is 10 centimetres, then this will be 10 more centimetres, so that would be 20 centimetres. So we're counting up in tens. So let's count up together. 10 centimetres, 20 centimetres, 30 centimetres, 40 centimetres, and 50 centimetres. So B is equal to 50 centimetres. Let's quickly write that so we don't forget. 50 centimetres. Obviously, it's got the little centimetres thing for you, so you don't have to remember that bit. But sometimes you do have to remember it. So we're on B, but we need to get to C. So we're on 50 centimetres. Remember, we're counting up in tens. So 60 centimetres, 70 centimetres, 80 centimetres, 90 centimetres. So C is going to equal 90 centimetres. Well done. Now our last question is a little bit more difficult, but you might think a little bit to what I told you in the last slide, and that might help you. Now we're on 90 centimetres here, okay? we're going 10 more centimetres, and it's telling us we're reaching 1 metre. Okay, so how many centimetres then are there in 1 metre? Have a little think. We're on 90 centimetres. 10 more than 90 is going to be 100 centimetres. So we know that that is 100 centimetres at the end there, and it's the same as 1 metre. Okay, well done. So let's move on to our turn, okay? So remember, the word equivalent means equal, doesn't it? So what I want you to do is, on a piece of paper or on a whiteboard or whatever you've got at home, I would like you to match these equivalent measurements. Now, you don't have to write it like this on the screen. You can just match them. So you can look, and can you see we've got 2 metres here? Well, they've told us that 2 metres is the same as 200 centimetres. So you could write in your book or on your piece of paper, it was 200 centimetres. That's absolutely fine, because remember, we're saying that they are equal. Okay, I don't want you to get into a confusion with lines and things. You don't have to do that, all right? So what I'd like you to do is match the equivalent measurements. So on one side, they're in metres, and then on the other side, they'll be in centimetres, okay? There are a couple that are trying to trick you. Have a little go, pause the video here, and then we will go through. So you should have paused the video there, and I'm going to go through the answers now. So I'm going to go from this bit, and I'm going to draw a line to one on this side that I think equals the same. Let's get my line tool ready. There we go. So the first one is 100 centimetres. So can you remember what 100 centimetres is the same as? How many metres is in 100 centimetres? Now, if you can remember from previously, we know that 100 centimetres is equal to 1 metre. You could also use this to help you. 2 metres is equal to 200 centimetres, therefore 1 metre is equal to 100 centimetres. Let's go to the next one. 5 metres. Now, 5 metres, we've got that here, we've got 2 metres there, so we pretend there's 5 metres here. 2 metres equals 200 centimetres. So 5 metres is going to equal 500 centimetres. Well done if you got that one right. These are quite good actually, because you know that out of all of those, 500 is the only one that can really be the answer. Okay. Because essentially all we're doing is timesing by 100 or dividing by 100. 300 centimetres. So we need to think, what is that in metres? So I know that 100 centimetres is equal to 1 metre. So 300 centimetres is going to be equal to 3 metres. Well done. Okay, I've done that one. It's the last one. This one is written centimetres out in full. Okay, it's just doing it to trick you. It's exactly the same as this little bit here. 900 centimetres, it's a tricky word. 900 centimetres is therefore going to be equal to 9 metres. Remember, you still have to work out that it's correct, because sometimes in questions they give you more answers than you need, okay? So you have to work them out. You can't just be like, oh, that one's the left, that one will be right. Well done if you got those right. Let's move on to the second hour turn, and then it'll be your turn to go off with your worksheet. So, Eva uses this diagram to convert, so change, between centimetres and metres. Use Eva's method to convert the following centimetres into metres, okay? So she's got 130 centimetres, 230 centimetres, 235, 535 or 547, all in centimetres. And we want to work out what they are in metres and centimetres, okay? So remember, the only thing that's going to really help you, the main thing, is that we know that 100 centimetres equals 1 metre. So I'll just quickly talk you through what she's done, and then you can have a go doing all of these on your piece of paper. Then you can unpause the video, and I'll go through a couple of the answers. So she's got 120 centimetres. She split that up into 100 centimetres and 20 centimetres, okay? We know that 100 centimetres is equal to 1 metre, but 20 centimetres still has to stay at 20 centimetres because there's 100 centimetres in a metre, okay? So 20 centimetres has to stay the same. So therefore, if you add those together, you get 1 metre, 20 centimetres. And that's how we write it, 1 metre and 20 centimetres. What I'd like you to do is pause the video here and do that method, or one of your own in your head if you like, to answer the following questions, those 5 questions on the board, okay? Pause the video here and then we'll go through the answers afterwards. So, you should have gone through those answers and written them in metres and centimetres. So, we've got 130 centimetres. So that could be split up into 100 centimetres and 30 centimetres. So that one is going to be, let's make it a bit smaller, 1 metre, 30 centimetres. You don't have to write the and, you can just write it like that. Now this one's a bit tricky because it's not 1 metre, is it? It's 200 centimetres and 30 centimetres. So that will be 2 metres and 30 centimetres. The next one is 235 centimetres, but that can still be just split up in the same way. It can be split up 200 centimetres and 35 centimetres, okay? So that will be 2 metres and 35 centimetres. Now, we've got to a bigger number, but actually it's no trickier than the ones before it, okay? If you know that 100 centimetres equals 1 metre. 535 centimetres can be split up into the hundreds, 500, and then the tens and ones, 35. So we've got 500 centimetres and we've got 35 centimetres. So therefore, it will be 5 metres, because we know that 500 centimetres is 5 metres, and 35 centimetres. Now, if you've done all those, you're going to know the last one. You know that 500 is 5 metres. So then what's left? 47 centimetres. Really well done if you got those right. This method can seem confusing, but really it is pretty self-explanatory, and you probably would be doing this in your head anyway. Right, so lastly, it's going to be your turn before you stop this video and you have a go at your worksheet that your grown-up has printed out for you. Now, the first page of the worksheet is our mild challenge. The questions get harder as you go along. You should be able to do the mild challenge. Then if you move on to the medium challenge, it is going to get a little bit trickier, maybe some 2-step problems to be completing. Our chili challenge today is a separate sheet, and it's a problem-solving questions like normal. Make sure a grown-up takes a picture of your work and sends it in to Class Dojo from me or Mr. Sherman to mark. See you later.